Hello, people. Friday live stream. I'm feeling very unmotivated today. It's too cold here in Florida. Too cold. I was supposed to do a field test today on some product, but it's
just too cold to do that.
Yeah.
It's 58 degrees right now. Let's see. That's cold.
Yeah, but it was like 40-something this morning.
Yeah, it was 30-something when I left the house.
Oh, yeah.
It was cold.
I wasn't up yet then.
Yeah.
I've been on too heavy of a survivor kick lately. I'm staying up way too late. Like, let me just get one more episode in. Just one more episode.
That's how it all starts.
Yeah.
So you done with Heartland?
Well, Heartland season 14 starts January 10th, so I won't be able to watch it, so I might have to fly to Canada, wait my 14-day quarantine time. And, those Canadians are real excited about something that they don't even really have up there. But, they won't let us in. So us tainted Floridians, because everybody here is dying. So, January 10th is when it comes, but you can't. Because there's got to be a way to, like, it's 2020. Like, why can't I just pay for it? They're so stupid. Just open it up. Make it like $100. You'd have like 50,000 people pay for it. Idiots.
So they release them all at once? Or are they doing it like
I think it's like on like the CBC, like it's like a 1985 Fox network, that they just put it on TV, on cable or whatever they have up there. Probably a lot of satellite.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You could just use your Chase reward points and fly up on the weekends to watch an episode. Then come back for the week.
Fly to some hotel.
Yeah.
Isolated. Should I just watch it at the airport just to have it there for me?
And get right back on the plane.
Find some little Canuck local airport and have a little 13-inch TV ready for me. Watch it and then fly home. Yeah, I like that. This is why when Obsessed Garage becomes a multinational corporation, I have my own plane. That's the kind of ridiculous stuff I'll be doing. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. We got people from Northeast Pennsylvania here. Nice.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Puerto Rico, Evans, Georgia, Sweden. Nice. Welcome, everybody. That's pretty cool. Rhode Island. Ooh, it's cold up there. And Ken Jeeper says, too cold. He detailed his car last week in 32 degrees. Whew. Yeah, that can't be fun.
Not doing that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun at all. So let's see what's going on. The garage giveaway started this week. So I brought in a couple of the items because on the page, this time we smartened up a little, and Bryce put, how many entries come with each thing. Yeah. And so people know exactly what they're getting into and how many entries they get. And so we have a couple super budget-friendly items. $10 for this. Which I actually like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I'm not a key lanyard kind of guy, but we certainly sold a freaking million of them. Yeah, so
those are popular. Only $10.
Yeah. And
you get your 2 entries. I'm
going to
put on
3.
You get 3? Oh, you're right. Sorry, that's 15. My bad. $15, 3 entries. The lanyard is $10, 2 entries, and then this thing, which people have been bothering us about these for a while. So those finally came in, and we got that set up.
Yeah, you throw that in your glove box, and I have one of that for a while, and then
hang it on your car when you drop it off
so that they can completely ignore it.
Yeah.
And wash your car anyway.
Maybe you should just stick it on your steering wheel.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a couple of those options, and this is brand new. Tell us about this, because we talked about this last week and the week before. So what exactly is Fresh Up? What does this do?
One of the things I get the question a lot, especially people buying used cars, like, man, the car has like a smell to it, like pets or whatever. And my wife spilled some Greek salad in my car, and I can't get the scent out. And so one way I learned this from Larry Cosilla, one way to kind of help with that is to douse the carpets in some baking powder. I always get those confused. So you shake some baking powder, whatever, the Arm & Hammer stuff,
right?
Baking soda. Throw it on the carpets, let it sit overnight, you come vacuum it out. You do that a couple of times. Another thing you could do is get one of those ozone machines that some professional detailers have, but I mean, most people aren't going to have that. Or this is a product I learned about from the Kosh Chemi launch, and it's called FU, which I think is pretty cool. It's Freshen Up. And so you spray it on the carpets, let it sit, and then it smells like laundry detergent. I think
really
application is you just basically put it in a sprayer and just spray it on. I don't think you don't dilute it, and it works pretty well. So I'm going with. I don't have a lot of stinky cars, so I'm going with all of the recommendations I've had, and I think it's something that we need. And so I think it's worth having. So I bought 60 bottles of it, and we have it up in the store. How much is this? Like $25 or something?
$21.99.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
$22, and you can you just spray it on the carpets, let it sit, and then it makes your car smell like laundry detergent. But it should suck out some of that funk, some of that funky crap. But yeah, we have this. I also ordered Ulex, which is freaking amazing. This is okay. But the Ulex stuff is, do use it in a well-ventilated area. It smells like, I don't know if that's acetone in it or what it is, but it smells like a nail polish remover, only way stronger smelling. But I'm telling you, think about, you peel the wheel weights off of your car, and then you have all that sticky crap on them, and they're designed to stay on there at speed. And so these things, like this stuff, like within 10 seconds, it just wipes away. It's pretty incredible. It's the best adhesive remover I've ever seen in my life. So you need a bottle of Ulex laying around. I'm assuming a 1 liter bottle is going to last you the rest of your life, but it's something you need. So we have that coming here shortly, as well as the 5 liters of GSF, which you need to buy right now. So if you're going to buy it, you might as well buy it in the kit to get a chance to win the garage.
So yeah, the Ulex we don't have in yet, but it's coming on the next container to our friends at Coach Kimmy, and then we'll get it as soon as we can.
Yeah, so the GSF is the first soap that it's legitimately better than Adams. It's more soluble in water. It's thinner, so it mixes quite a bit easier. It foams about the same, but doesn't reactivate. Doesn't leave any residue behind. Works great in the bucket. So forget the name. It doesn't have to be foamed. It works well in your soap bucket as well. It's pretty darn good. I'm telling you, want to buy some, and then by the time you're ready for a gallon, we'll have the 5 liters here. So just get it.
All right, we got a super chat here from Mark Rogers. 2.99 pounds sterling. Have you thought about buying Adam's other RS6? I guess Adam LZ. He's got 2 of them.
Yeah, he bought the one from Titan. The Titan bought from somewhere. They're all above sticker. I'm not interested in that. Yeah, I don't know. RS6 is kind of cool, but it sounds kind of crappy, and it looks really cool. Rolling, there's over 22s on it, and it has that airbag suspension and stuff. I don't know. It's a cool car. I'd want to do a crazy stereo in it and stuff. I don't know. I'm just not ready for something like that.
You got enough going on.
Yeah, right.
Christopher Financial Group says, when will the pre-order garage giveaway Impact set ship? Well, we just got the notification yesterday that Milwaukee was shipping a bunch of those to us. So hopefully middle of next week they'll get here, and then we'll get them out.
Yeah, so I've been using them a lot here lately. The Compact and the Mid-Torque, which is part of the kit, and then you're basically getting a battery for $60 or $80 or something like that. So you get the combo of the newest, impacts, and then the Mid-Torque basically renders the high torque obsolete almost, because it has a lot more output than the previous gen. You can break lugs and things like that. It's a lot lighter and more ergonomic. So my previous favorite tool was the extended anvil high torque. I think is being replaced by the Mid-Torque. And so I think you want them both in 1/2 inch. I'd rather reduce a 1/2 inch to 3/8 than to increase a 3/8 to 1/2 inch. And so, Milwaukee was questioning my sanity. I said, no, I want them both in 1/2 inch. He said, well, I don't think that's a good idea. I said, no, I'm telling you, I want them both in 1/2 inch. And so we created a 1/2 inch kit, and I ordered a bunch of them, so they should be here shortly.
All right, let's see. Another Matt here in the chat says, Matt, what's the history of the wall-mounted consumer pressure washer? I first noticed you doing it years back. Was it prevalent before that?
No. I came up with the idea when I had I'd leased a garage condo out by my Raymond James office, and I had done the big on-wall one in 2016, the big Krenzel, which I'd never seen really anybody have or do. Sorry, I got something in my eyeball here. And so I bought that one. That was $4,500, but I didn't want to spend $4,500 on another pressure washer for this condo that I wasn't going to be doing a lot of washing on. And so I thought, well, what I could do is I could get the 1622, which I didn't love, but I could get the 1622, and we could put that on a shelf, and then I could put a hose reel underneath that, and then I could put the deionizer underneath that, and I could kind of bolt it all to the wall and then figure out how to connect it all. And it took some time, and it turned out that eventually then I got this place, at least this side of the building, and I kind of moved out of there. And so while that was all happening, I was trying to figure that out. I was kind of realized that we had such great success with the 1122. I'm like, well, I bet you if I want this, there's probably some other people that want to mount it to the wall too. And so then I set out to figure it out. And so I bought 3 or 4 different hose reels. I thought the MTM one would work, but I got it. It had some rust on it. And I'm like, well, this isn't a good start. And then I realized that that's just a sort of a generic Chinese reel that's made by a lot of companies use it. And I bought a couple of Rapid. Is it Rapid Reel? What's that company? It doesn't matter. But I bought a couple other reels and didn't really like how they operated. And then that's what I found Cox reel around the same time. And then I think a month after I'd found Cox is when I was able to fly to New York. I was supposed to go to Germany, but the Germans were coming here, so they came over here to sort of do their 5-year review with representatives. And I was invited to come to that, to have an hour with them. So I wrote up a proposal of what I thought I was going to do in the future, and that I wanted to take the 1622, and I wanted it to have more flow, less rated pressure, and I wanted it to have total stop. So I wanted it to have when you release the trigger that it turned off. And so they said, well, we think we could do that. So it turned out it ended up doing quite a bit more output GPM, and it ended up doing the same pressure as the 1622, and then they did the total stop, and so then they convinced them to do exclusivity on that machine because it was my freaking idea. No one else wanted to do this. And then I figured out what kind of shelves. I ordered a bunch of different shelves, and I thought I would do a shelf with like square holes in it, so in case water. And I realized, well, there shouldn't be any water going. And I figured out how to do a jumper hose, and then realized I had to attach the jumper hose because the swivel on the inlet of the hose would still cause the jumper hose to spin. And then I realized, well, it's probably better because no one makes an M22 to 3/8 nice clean way to do it. So I'll probably just do a quick disconnect so I could easily break it down. And I figured out thumb screws, and so it took thousands, probably $8,000 or $9,000 worth of buying stuff. Maybe not that much. Let's say at least double the $3,000 that it cost you to buy it now, to figure this thing out. And so that's how it kind of came about, and it's really kind of a hokey setup, and you have a shelf, and you have all these disconnected parts and pieces. Someday I'd hope to be able to sell it, just send it on a pallet, and it's all self-contained. And I'd also like to have some more stout filtration, so it's on the docket to work with some deionization companies that specialize in that to make. I know there are resin tanks that people use that look better, or that do more, but they don't look very good, and they're not very mountable. So I want to figure out how to make all that stuff work. So that's how it came about, and then we threw it up in the store. I had no idea that it would sell what it sold, but it's pretty incredible if you get people most of the way there. And I've seen so many different setups where people will use a less expensive pressure washer, or paint things or pull things apart, and so that didn't exist. No one had it. The only thing that was kind of like that was cam sprayer, where I originally was going to buy one of the cam sprayers before I bought the Krenzla for my dedicated wash bay, but it just looks so, like, a lot of people are always telling me about the North Star Electric or whatever, which is a cat pump on I just don't like the American pressure washers. They're just so janky, so cheaply done. So the big brass head, they're just not, a crankshaft driven pump is just not as elegant as a radial axial pump. And so that's why I prefer the Krenzla much more, even though the AR is kind of the best of because at least Italian made. It's just all the American pressure washer companies, all I can think of is it's just not well done. And so this was my solution. It's funny to see now it's everywhere. It's like common knowledge. But I'm 100% responsible for that style. I didn't have any muse. There was no one I could take cues from. It didn't exist. No one's putting a pressure washer on a stainless shelf and then putting a hose reel below it. It just didn't exist.
All right, so there you go. There's the story. We have a question here. Andy in the chat, and then Brandon on Facebook, and Detman1225 on Instagram, asking about hoodies for the garage giveaway. So we just asked Bryce right before we left about the hoodie update. It was a matter of finding the right hoodie and then getting them here. So hoodies are on the way. We hope to include them in the garage giveaway.
Yeah, we set up the terms, the legal terms, that as long as it's on that page that we're good. So in the past, we've dictated the items prior to the sweepstakes, whatever rules being written. This time we were able to kind of open the language up so that we could add a few things to it if we got it here in time. For instance, we want to do a special edition tire dressing in a press-all bottle. We're waiting for our labels, and I don't want to sit here and wait because we'll never be ready. And so I want to launch these things at a specific date and get it done. And so sometimes that means we have some products that we intended for it that may come a little later, and so I wanted the freedom to be able to do that. So we've figured out how to legally make that work and still be within the rules, and so we're good to go on that.
All right, let's see. Man, we have a guy from New Zealand here today. Hey, Phil, welcome. I don't know what time it is over there, but I'm sure it's very late. Matt, do you have any thoughts? Have you seen the new Mustang SUV?
No, I haven't. But I'd probably hate it, wouldn't I? I would think.
I think it's an electric SUV.
Yeah, and I have no interest in that. The only reason I'm sure we'll talk about the Tesla a little bit, but the only reason I bought that is because it has state-of-the-art autopilot. That's what I need for my crazy.
Good.
Let me look at this Mustang business.
Yeah. What's his name? Doug DeMiro just did a review on it recently. I think maybe that's where that came from. So let's see. Oh, Junction Auto says he finally caught one of these live. Excellent. Throwing some Halo and CSL on a C63 AMG at the moment. Hello from Smelly Houston.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's the new. They're calling it a Mustang. It doesn't look like a Mustang.
But why do you want a car on stilts? Like, why would you want a worse handling, worse center of gravity vehicle? Like, why would you take a car and just move it up a little bit, increasing no more storage capacity or capability, so it just makes it goofy just because people like goofy?
I think so. There's a market for goofy.
It's so stupid. Why are people so dumb? Why do they all want to do the same thing? Like, why does everybody do what everybody else does? Get your own thing. It's so stupid. Why wouldn't you look at that thing and say, this thing's freaking stupid? Why would they put a car on stilts? I either want a big, giant SUV that has function, or I don't. I'm just get a car. Why do I want something that looks like an SUV that has no functionality of an SUV, because it can't go off-road or anything, because it has the same, it has the same subframe and clearance of a car. It's so you can sit up a little taller. What are you, a grandma? Come on. At least the minivan has some function. It's got a big box. You can put more crap in it. And a door on the side, it's easier to get into. Why do you want these cars? It's so stupid.
So there you go, Kurt. Those are his thoughts on the new Mustang SUV.
Idiots.
A couple comments here in the chat. Sean received the PF22 quick disconnect package and funnel after buying via Black Friday. Totally legit. The quality is unreal. That's cool. Thanks, Sean. Our buddy Brian Deal checking in from California. Hey, Brian. Let's see. William, our friend, I think he's in South Carolina, Green Tip Academy. Hey, Chris and Matt. William here. The How OG Does Marketing video was priceless. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I hope that some people, we're kind of long and boring, but this was, it's inside the Hex. Just say it was shameless plug here. If you go sign up, then you get a lot of entries into winning the garage, and somebody's going to get this garage. I had Brad, who's our sort of helps me and does a lot of the SEO and a lot of the stuff that I felt like I didn't really need in the beginning, that I felt like could add some. It's like be like supercharging a V8 that already had 400 horsepower. And so I feel like having some inorganic structuring and I think about how I'm talking and speaking and marketing a little differently than most would, and so we kind of talk through. He's talking through the numbers and the math, and I'm talking about how I don't care about that, and it's kind of an interesting conversation back and forth about how we're approaching this game of curation, product curation, and disruption that we're in the the midst of doing.
All right, let's see. Another comment here from Big Boss 101. Longtime Adams soap user here and tried GSF for the first time last night. Holy cow, way better. So.
Yeah, again, I don't know that I would say it's way better, but it is measurably, I don't even know it's measurable, but subjectively better. And I've been come back to Adams soap 15 times. I keep coming back. I think I'm not coming back unless for some reason GSF has some problems. The other thing I think is very realistic, very probable, is that we'll probably end up replacing Decon soap here with something from their soap line. They've got like 50 different soaps. There's going to be something in there that, if you go high alkalinity, yeah, you strip stuff, but you also ruin other stuff. And so that's what's so great about the Decon soap, which was chemical guide citrus red or citrus wash, not citrus wash and gloss. You wouldn't want that. And it's not like clean slate or, Adams strip wash. Those don't really work. This, foams well, lubricates well, and tends to strip okay. I'd like something that strips a little better but still has those same characteristics that doesn't ruin my seals and rubber and wiper blades and all that stuff. Leave a bunch of residue behind. So like Dawn will leave a bunch of residue behind. That's the whole reason. Think about Dawn. You wash your hands, it leaves like a lotion on your hands almost, so it doesn't damage your hands. You don't want that left behind. That kind of defeats the point.
All right, let's see. We have some comments here in the chat about suggesting get a VPN. That way you can pretend you're in Canada and watch it online for Heartland.
Yeah, how do I do that? I need to do that. I'll talk to Bryce.
Sean says CBC has an app called CBC Gym, which is available on Fire Stick.
Really?
Not sure if you have to be in Canada to watch it, but worth a try. I don't know how you can watch that show, and he's in Canada, so that's good, Sean. You don't need to know. Just
you should need to know. Just watch it and then write me a synopsis, a summary email for each one with some strategic photos, and that's what I need.
All right, let's see. Here's a question that's come up a couple times. Any idea how the giveaway items for the Civic will differ from the current items from the garage giveaway? Not sure if I should pull the trigger on my $1,500 cart now or wait for the Civic giveaway.
How about you do it on both?
And then his next one was, I know Matt will probably say, just do both.
I didn't even see that. That's smart. What happens? Imagine you won both. Imagine you had the garage prepared and the Civic shows up and you get to park it in there. Wouldn't that be freaking great? God, I can't imagine. Could you imagine, even you, not even caring, like, could you imagine if you won that garage?
Awesome,
Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, if somebody came and like, what would it be like? It'd be like, I don't know who, but somebody in like home theater that like showed up and like revamped your whole audio experience in your house,
just a complete makeover. And one thing to address, because a couple folks have asked about this, because we show off the pictures of Emmanuel's garage because it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to look like that. You come down. That's part of the winner's experience. You come down here and you design it.
I mean, if you want to do some McDonald's striped on the floors, I'm going to fight you a little bit, but ultimately, it's going to be whatever you want it to be.
Doesn't have to be a black and gray or whatever.
I'm not buying a Coors Light neon sign, and I'm not buying hex lights for the ceiling. Those are two things, and I'm drawing the line in the sand. And I'm not painting a red stripe on the wall. If you want to paint a red stripe on it, you got a purple stripe, you could do that. And I'm not hanging, there's a lot of things I'm not doing apparently. I'm not going to paint a mural of a Corvette on the wall. We're not painting the walls, black. We're not doing anything stupid. We're not doing an accent wall. It's tough enough you got me to do an accent ceiling. So basically it's going to look like Emmanuel's garage. There's one good way to do it. It's my way. How's that sound?
Yeah, the key is you have your own sizes and dimensions. So you come down here, you set it all up. Kyle and Matt sit down with you.
Yeah, I love it if we do some pops of color. It means people have different styles, and it helps me if we can show some different variants and stuff like that. And kind of like if you wanted a mural of the Corvette on the wall, I'd talk let's do something like laser CNC cut or something. Let's try to do something a little bit cleaner, and so we can all put our heads together and come up with something cool. But the main hope is that somebody with some form of a garage wins. But if you don't have a garage and you win, then we just write you a check for 30 G's, and actually be a lot cheaper for me if you did that.
Yeah.
I want somebody in the garage to win, so there's a much bigger pop, from a marketing perspective for it. The hope of this whole thing is that it funds itself, and we can keep doing it over and over and over again, so that all of us who don't win can watch it and learn from it. I get to sell more stuff because people get ideas. And then that person changed their freaking life forever. It's something they may have never gotten ever. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
So you go, and to go back to the original question, there are some different items that are going to be Civic specific.
Definitely where we'll be.
We won't have banners in that giveaway because the banners are more meant for the garage. We won't have Civic merchandise because that's more meant for the Civic, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But some of the packages might be the same. Those are pretty popular. Russell Kelly, the quick answer here, Russell, is email support at Obsessed Garage or go to support.obsessedgarage. He's about to start the mounted pressure washer project and want to know about recommendations for the height of the hose bib, pressure washer, stuff like that. So, yeah, we have those answers.
Yeah, it's best to, lay that out, while you're doing it. So, although we give you a rough guideline, I mean, it's every time Mike and I do it, we kind of revamp it a little bit. You just kind of lay it out and set it up while you're in the middle of the project. But I get it is nice to have some framework, but there is custom installs because, every install is a little bit different.
All right, and then when you're ready to get your plane to go to Canada, our friend Seth Turnbow up in Illinois says he'll gladly fly you there and back. He's our pilot friend. I think he's been here once before. We have a super chat here from Ricardo. Hey, Matt, when reaching the end of CSL and EXO, do you just reapply or polish, then reapply? Also, how do you know when you polished off a coating?
That's such a tricky thing, man. I mean, because you don't know if it's been polished off. So I'm going to have to do that on the Civic. And so I'm going to make a whole video on this. The Civic has a bunch of overspray, likely from the stereo shop. It's been all over the place, in carriers back and forth. And so who knows? It just has a lot of contamination on it. I should have just waxed it. I was going to wax it, and then I didn't. I'm like, no, it looks too good. I'm going to coat it, and knowing that fair well I'd have to redo it again. So the question is, can you just sort of touch up the coating and top it off, doing a real light polishing? So I'm likely just going to strip it off and start over. You really can't tell. And I guess what you could do is you could try like a water test. But even then, I mean, sometimes a coating is still there and it's lost its hydrophobic properties. So I'm inclined to just frickin' compound the thing with a microfiber cutting pad and just our correction compound. That should take it all off. One way you know it isn't off is if you try to put the coating on and it beads up, bubbles up, doesn't look like it's sticking, if you will. That's where it's such a inexact science. It's really hard to know what to do and how to do it. Then add in PPF on top of that, and you got an even bigger problem.
All right, James wants to know if you have any recommendations for weather strip reconditioner or conditioner.
What I generally do with weather stripping is I'll spray like a diluted all-purpose cleaner and get a brush, like a toothbrush or like a wheel brush of some sort, and try to get some of the gunk out. Remember that the black stuff you're removing when you're wiping with a towel is a lot of the UV inhibiting properties of the rubber, so that'll never look and come out completely clean. You just want it to look clean. And then I'll generally, you just put, coat it with something, and a lot of times that'll kind of bring it back and make it look good.
All right, let's see. Pancake Sauce wants to know, will there be any other Milwaukee products added for purchase towards the garage giveaway?
Not for this one, no. I wanted to see how it did and keep it really simple, but in the future we'll do more stuff.
All right, let's see here. Todd Baker says, I know you tried H2Go, but never heard what you thought of it. How does it compare to Wolf's?
H2Go is much easier to apply. I find that it doesn't last as long and doesn't do as well, and isn't as bulletproof with wiper blades. I think H2Go is more of like a 2 or 3 month type product, where Wolf is more like a 9 or 12 month product. So Wolf's is a little harder to get on and off, but
We've sold 7 of the Milwaukee packages so far.
Oh shoot!
As
sweet. So where are we at?
I got you. This is in the Friday report coming later, but we sold 448 total items so far. The most popular one being a T-shirt, 137 of those sold.
Yeah.
Key tag second most. No, sorry, the hat is second most popular, 98. Then the key tag, 88. So profit wise, it's right around 23,000.
Oh, so we'll probably get there.
Yeah, we should get there because the total cost, if you look at everything added together, it's about $94,000, considering the first prize, the grand prize, the attorneys, the bonds, the Stripe and PayPal fees, all that stuff.
Assuming we spend 85 or so on the garage.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Our costs on 85, if you will.
We also want to remind folks that there is a first prize. It's after the grand prize, then you still have somebody who's going to win basically one of everything in the detailing package.
Oh, I thought we weren't going to do that.
No, I think that's part of the deal. We'll have to reread
that. Oh, shoot. Oh, well. Crap. I didn't want to do that because there's not really any bang for the buck on that one from a marketing perspective. Oh, well.
Now I got to go reread the rules.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go back to one of these questions from our friend Alex in Germany. Hey, Matt, I would love to hear some thoughts on the upcoming 992 GT3. Do you like the new Swan deck spoiler?
Yeah, it's fine. I prefer the regular uprights, I think. But, I guess the Swan deck has better downforce capability. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. And it'll be something that probably grows on you, but I think I'd probably prefer the traditional style. But you don't really know until you live with it for a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do with that car. If I'm going to get one, keep them both. I'm not sure what to do.
All right, we have a super chat here from our friend Yoshi. If I win, can we paint my entire garage pink?
No. You can. I'm not freaking painting it.
All right, let's see. Lots of talk here in the chat about neon signs. People are bailing now that there's no neon signs allowed. I think you just have to provide your own after Matt leaves.
Yeah, that's one of those things that after I'm done, all the photos are taken, you can do whatever you want. Like Ed from VinWiki put all these signs and crap up after I left, which is fine. It's his garage. I don't care. Once I get out of it, it's all about me, Chris. Yeah. Once I get mine out of it, then you can do whatever you want.
Emmanuel's already parted his out.
Right. Done. He's already painted a mural with his face, and they got a big fat head of Brett Favre on the wall or something like that.
All right. Jacob Adams says, "How are the Black Friday Crinsley deliveries looking?" They ran out of 1322s briefly, but those have all been going out this week. So if you got a 1322 and you were waiting, it hopefully shipped either yesterday or today. That's good. There you go. Jeff chimed in the chat to let him know that. Champagne Chugger on Instagram says, "Happy holidays, guys. I bought a ton of Press-All bottles during the Black Friday sale. What would be your must-have chemical lineup for those bottles?" So let's say you got like 5 or 6 bottles, maybe.
Yeah, it would be all the stuff that we have, right? So you'd want bead maker in one. I think you'd want a bottle with some Optimum OptiClean for touch-ups if you had a bug or something you wanted to get off. You'd want eraser in one, carbo eraser, P&S interior cleaner, brake buster. You'd want OG tire dressing, and so that's 5. You'd basically want everything that I have in those bottles set up. That's why I want the labels. Once I get the labels, I hoarded like 40 bottles for myself so I can start fresh.
All right, let's see. Henry wants to know, what's the obsessed approved method of removing snow from a car? Got any secrets?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of an expert there, but dirt is dirt. This is what I argue. People are always giving me a hard time, like, you don't understand. I'm in blah, 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 and you're in Florida, and it may work for you, but I'm in blah, blah, blah. Dirt is dirt, and if you have more dirt, then the more dirt can wear on your stuff more, so you might have to decon more often and polish more often. But, this is where, the problem is you got to deal with is it's so cold that when you wash the cars, the water freezing while you're using it. I'd be inclined to have several wash pads, right? I'd probably in snow season be inclined to do more of a 1 bucket than 2 bucket method, because you're blowing off all the junk, but a lot of it tends to stick more, right? A lot of the soot and cinders and salt and crap that they use. I would wash more, at least I used to when I lived up there, and you man up and you're washing. If it's 33 degrees, you're washing, and you just kind of get used to it. But I would use the same procedure, other than I'd probably use a dozen, wash pads or maybe more, and not revisit the bucket because gets so nasty.
All right, let's see here. Oh, Jacob also asked about these things, but then he found them in the store. So there you go, Jacob. You found them. Mike wants to know, when will that fresh new orange and black Do Average Elsewhere shirt become available? I guess you were wearing that one.
That was the 1M giveaway shirt. Yeah.
So those are all gone. But we're having a meeting of the minds next week to discuss some new apparel, new ideas for both the Civic giveaway and beyond. So
yep.
It's coming up soon. Let's get to a couple Tesla questions here. Number one, Ali on Facebook says, after Porsche Gentlemen and Honda Bros, can't wait to see what you're going to call the Tesla fans.
Nerds.
Do you stick my Tesla nerds?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
There you go, Ollie.
What's up, Tesla nerds? This is a non-Tesla nerd coming in.
All right.
I'm going to try to man up some of these little soy boys, some of these little snowflakes driving around their nerdmobile, with some goofy hubcaps on it. Take this freaking hubcaps on and use them as a frisbee and throw them right into the dumpster, and stop being such a little nerd boy, and stop wrapping your cars. Wraps are not cool. It's stupid. But Matt, how else can you do such an easy color change? Why do you need color change? Just stick with the color that you bought. Buy the right color. Well, I can't get some crystalline lime chameleon green that changes colors at different angles. Well, why would you want that? First of all, wrap doesn't protect you from squat. You get hit by a rock, goes right through it. Secondly, wrap scratches crazy, so now your car is all scratched up looking because you got some goofy wrap. Eventually, there's all corners ripping up and dirt getting in it. It's just stupid. Stop this, man. You spent $3,000 to make your car look stupid. We know your car doesn't come in that color. We know you're too cheap to put, judging from the fact that your car, you're not even lowered. You don't even know what a coilover is. So let's not pretend that you know what you're doing here. So we know you didn't pay someone to paint the car that color. You didn't order it custom or anything like that. So just stop this madness. This wrapping business with the freaking Tesla nerds. And I heard one guy talking about, I got coilovers. And one of the real advantages of coilovers is that you could raise the car up when you want, and you can bring it down when you want. I'm like, bro, that's not how coilovers work. You're going to have to go realign the car. It's going to take you 5 hours every time you want to do that. Get out of here, you nerd. Get out of here. So we're really going to de-nerd this thing. I have a call coming up, which we'll record with, I like Ben from Unplugged Performance. He's like, let's record it, our first conversation. I said, I like what you're saying there. That way people catch it in the raw right from the beginning. He's going to be sad when I tell him I bought all MPP coilovers already, though. But carbon ceramics we're doing on it. I got some crazy wheels that are going to make the nerds' heads explode. The nerds are going to like it. The real car people aren't. But you'll have to see what I end up doing with my Vossens that I'm putting on this thing. I got to do something a little crazy to de-nerd this little mobile. So that's the plan.
All right, another quick Tesla question here from Jojo on Facebook. Are you going to test any new products on the Tesla, like compounds, polishes, etc.?
Nah, probably not.
Stick them with the...
Maybe we'll try some stuff, but I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
All right, let's see. This is a good email you got from one of our friends, Anuj. I wanted to read it. I don't know if you got to see it this morning or not, so I grabbed it. Matt, I see a lot of people getting really excited about the Tesla and your anticipated response to the vehicle. I can't help but relate this to your Crinzla Facebook video. I think it's safe to say Tesla disrupted in a few years. Their first real production car, the S, came in 2012. The 3, just 3 years ago. Are expectations too high and people wanting perfection from a startup? Should people get spun up on issues and really just accept that if they get a Tesla, they may encounter some issues and it's really all a part of the journey to transition to electric? I think you see where I'm going and why I relate it to the experience you've encountered with the expectations to the Crinzla people. I have a 991.1, but also have a Model 3 as my daily. I know what each is and what each is not. Excuse me. Either way, I'm excited to hear about your experience in the coming months.
So he's speaking exactly what I've been thinking, is that this is the third. So car guy, I want to sound smart. Number one is you talk about rod bearings on a BMW, right? Right. So you say, oh, I hear they have rod bearing problems. What was the other one? The other major one that every car guy says to sound smart. Well, Tesla's one of the things you say to sound smart is, well, what are you going to do about the panel gaps? I said, well, it's a $36,000 car, right? It's $36,000, and it has a lot in that $36,000. My guess is, I don't have high expectations for a $36,000 car when I'm usually used to buying $200,000 cars. So I don't have huge expectations. So I don't think I'm going to have huge disappointment if I have to kind of tweak some stuff and fix some stuff. I'm expecting that going in. So I completely agree with him. I think that I'm going to help people out here a little bit by fighting the status quo of, people are subconsciously don't realize this, but they're always looking for reasons why something, they don't have something or they don't want something. There doesn't have to be a reason why you don't want something. You might just not want it. I didn't want a Tesla. I still don't want a Tesla. I also don't want to be able to. I also don't want to be driving down the road freaking out like I'm going to die. So I bought a Tesla because it's the only car I'd rather buy. I would have bought a Taycan, which Chris wouldn't have been very happy about, for $200,000 if they had the same technology that Tesla has that I feel like I need to get my freedom back. So I bought it as an inexpensive way. It ended up being $70,000, but when it was all said and done, but to an inexpensive way to try something new and see if maybe there can be like a little bit of extra therapy for me. The advantage I have is that I can buy some parts and put on it and provide the world with a little bit of de-nerding and manning up some people and providing some of the information that because I think about things differently than Tesla nerds do, and so teach them how to wash a frickin' car right. That's going to be important. They're just like, and watch, I'll get 5,000 views and teaching people how to wash the Tesla right, and the Tesla nerd gets 1,000,002 views teaching them how to do something I don't know anything about. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I completely agree that these car stigmas that people come up with very little information. It's an opinion. Again, opinion based on no fact or very little fact, or urban legend. So we're gonna answer that. Maybe they're right, but my guess is most people haven't bought one, had a bad experience, and then developed an experience on it. Instead, they're just sharing an opinion based on very little.
And you were talking about the rod bearing issues. You couldn't think of the other one. Russell suggests the long gearing on GT4. Is that the other one? Oh.
Hey, what are you going to do about those long gears? Well, have you ever even sat in a GT4? So how would you even know? Idiot. Yeah, that's the other one. Good call.
Thanks, Russell. Then Low FG2 says, get the Artisan Spirits body kit for the Tesla. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that go through.
Yeah. It's at IND. Not only did I get it, but I was fearful that it wasn't going to fit right. And so I went to, first I went to the original company. I'm like, I need you to import this, and I need you to send it to IND. They're like, oh, we can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? Of course you can do that. I'll have IND pay for it. How's that sound? And so I just called IND and said, hey, can you get this thing for me? So they went and got it. And so they have a Tesla there, and so they're going to go and fit it. And so they're going to fit all of the, and paint it. The tricky part is I got the white car, which is a pearl. And so we're going to try to do as little white paint as possible. I bought the carbon version of it. So that's what we're doing. And then full MPP suspension. And then we're going to do unplug sway bars and unplugged carbon ceramics. And I'm going to paint all the calipers black.
Gotcha. There you go. Yeah, I got your spreadsheet going here for Tesla.
Yeah, I'm at $92,000 for my Tesla. Yeah, but there isn't much more I need to buy. Just $8,000 brakes.
Write this down. All right, let's go back here.
So it'll be $100,000 from Tesla. Shoot.
Damn Kaizen on Instagram says, been listening to your podcast lately over music on my way to and from work. That's cool. Thanks for listening. Reasonable Paul has a great question for you. I know you're going to like this. Christmas is 1 week away.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people decorating their cars for Christmas.
Oh, Lord.
With that being said, what are your go-to OG-approved Christmas car accessories?
Nothing. Tommy and I saw a guy in a modified Ford Mustang GT with American flag wrapped just the front fender in like blue. It was like a red car with blue fenders. And then he had devised this really stout flag holder with dual, Confederate flag and American flag hanging from the back. And, with like a straight piped exhaust. And, I thought that was pretty cool. So that would be an approved Christmas, Florida Christmas mobile.
No wreath on your grill.
And then right after that, I saw someone driving with the antlers, that are on the, that's it scratches, it ruins the seals around the window. And you get to hear this whistle driving down the road. It must be really nice to just be normal and regular and average. It must be nice. Because that would drive me freaking crazy.
Oh, man. So, there you go. Reasonable Paul. Let's see. Brian says in the chat, I'm excited to try out my new LHR 15. I appreciate the fast shipping. Hey, that's awesome, Brian. If we have them in here, we'll get them out super quick. We have more on the way. There was another question about, here it is, from BB Dave 1. Does the custom painted Rupes polisher not have the RPM graph on the top?
I don't think so.
Let's see. I was looking at the picture because we don't have a...
We haven't gotten one yet. I know IND is doing it, so it's going to be sick, but I think we're covering that up. It's kind of pointless. Not sure why you would need that. I've never looked at it one time.
That does look pretty nice.
It's freaking awesome.
8 of those so far, so 8 guys.
I want one. I can't wait to get one.
Oh, there's 9. All right.
It's going to be awesome. So go check out the rendering of, IND's working on it right now. It's great.
Let's see. What spec did Matt get for his Model 3? So what were the...
Well, there really aren't any options. Just performance. So the dual motor performance and then the full self-drive, and that's it. White. Those are your only options on the car. And white interior. Going crazy. Vegan leather. Freaking idiot. Stop calling it vegan leather. It's vinyl.
White on white.
Yeah.
You're gonna look like Boss Hogg. The Dukes has
It's gonna be good. I'm gonna get some white acid washed white jeans. Tight, like stretchy tight jeans.
White shirts. White cowboy hat.
Can't wait for that whole thing, that whole fad to go away. Dudes wearing tiny jeans. I'm turning into an old, old dad. Yeah,
get off my lawn.
Yeah. You look like freaking nerds.
Yeah.
Like, stop wearing tight jeans. They're too short. They stop early. You get skinny legs. At least if you're gonna do that, do some squats. Stop this tight jean business.
All right, a couple questions here in the chat about your picture that you posted of all the ceramic waxes or graphene.
Oh, yes.
What's the story there? And there were some folks asking if you were going to include, I guess Griots has one too.
No. I just bought what I could. I was going to do the Griots, but Griots wasn't available on Amazon. So the idea was to be the regular man test, right? These are the ones that are readily available, easy to get, and have the most letters in their names. You got to have a lot of letters. That's important. So you got to have many qualifying names for it, and then you got to have a lot of other names in the name of the So you got to have a brand name and a product name, and then we've devised, I think, the world's most accurate and best, formula to determine which will go the longest. And so I'm telling you, this is literally the best test that's ever been done. Very different than what anybody has ever done, and we're going to determine, which one of these is, again, I'm not a value guy. I'm more of a, I want it to perform well and have the most gloss. So we have all of these specifications that I've weighted into the calculation, and then we're going to share it. So I already started the testing, so we've captured all the B-roll on that. And then I'm waiting on some more results. I have to do some more, another major test. The longevity test is the hardest one to do, so we've got to get that done in order to get the data from that in order to apply it to this formula that I've come up with. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and so we're gonna knock this out of the park. People are gonna be pumped about this thing. I think they're gonna value out of it.
There you go. So that answers lots of those questions. Yeah, there were 2 or 3 people who asked about Griot, so it just wasn't readily available at the time. He was getting the others, so there you go. James King has a super chat here, $4.99 US. Had my Model 3 for a year, along with an S2000 for a while. From one owner to a new one, you're right about Tesla people not being car people.
Yeah. A lot of times it's the people's, their first car, first thing that interested them. A lot of times they're tech people that are interested in technology. There's nothing wrong with them. We're just going to set them straight. It's like the Corvette people. They don't know squat about cars. They don't know anything about style. They don't know anything about anything. And so it's the same thing that we can, I couldn't find a single video on anybody who did drop spindles on their freaking Corvette. Like, how is that even possible? I thought Corvette was supposed to be a performance car, and nobody's even lowered it properly. So, this is something that I think is going to be of value to the nerd world. We'll see. Maybe not.
Lots of Mustang talk here.
There's a lot of Corvette dudes that can beat me up, but there aren't many Tesla dudes that can beat me up. So I can say whatever the heck I want. So
probably more afraid of the Tesla chicks. I think they'd have a better chance.
Yeah. The girls are going to be. There's a lot more Michelles in the Tesla world than there are dudes who are going to beat me up. That's for sure.
Yeah. Mustang. You started some Mustang chatter here. Let's see. Oh, Jack wants to know. Here's an interesting question for you. Matt, what in your mind is the ideal Frankenstein car if you could pick all the individual parts? GT3 motor, 6-speed manual, looks of an M3, naturally aspirated, Brembo brakes, etc.
Yeah, shoot. I'll have to think about that. That's a good question.
That was a good one. All right, so be thinking about that. What car that you owned in the past was the hardest to maintain? Bjorn wants to know.
Well, the Raptor's the hardest one because it's so freaking. That's been my most difficult. The other one was a Tahoe because the darn roof. Trying to get up on the roof. So bigger just makes it to me much more difficult to take care of. Where the S2000 would be the easiest, because it's super small and simple and not a lot of paint because there's no roof. I guess I don't know how hardtop I had, but yeah, I'd say that the Raptor is the hardest because it's you got to get in the bed and reach the roof and get step stools out and all that kind of stuff. You can't reach the center of the window without a ladder, and then you got the suspension you want to keep clean and all that stuff. So it's much more difficult.
All right, Kurt wants to know who installs new spawns after purchase from your site. So, who could you find if you're in?
I mean, if I were you, I don't think you really need a lift installer for unless you do a 2-post. That's where you want someone who's an expert. But I think you would just you could hire a handyman or an electrician could do it.
He's in looks like Nashville area. Kurt is. So.
Yeah, I think I would hire if it were me, I would get a couple of buddies and get it into position, and then I'd hire an electrician to wire it. I don't know.
Don't get Kalos to install it for you. There's a video about that. If you'd like to see that, go back and search for that.
But that was a 2-post. That was complicated, and we'd never seen one of those before, and they didn't even have instructions. So
that's a fun video to watch, though.
Yeah.
They're really good at HVAC, though.
I'm sure we could figure that out.
Let's see. Oh, Jack has a good question here. Matt, do you wear boot cut or relaxed straight?
I don't know.
Be honest.
I have no idea. I only have one pair of jeans, and I just bought them from 511 Tactical, and that's it. I don't like jeans because it rubs my thighs. Maybe I should. That's why I need the stretchy, skinny ones. Stretchy jeans are for girls. Kyle, Bryce, get out of here.
Oh, here we go. Question from Kyle York. Will Matt eat or allow drinks in his self-driving Tesla?
No.
So if you got both hands free or?
No.
No cheeseburgers?
No. The only eating allowed is when you go to Publix and you're coming home on a binge. And you can eat like a bag of like chocolate covered, what are the the pretzels.
Oh yeah, the
nips
peanut butter pretzels.
Yeah, something like that. And those will be fine. That will be acceptable. Those are hard though because you kind of need a drink.
Yeah.
But you get like the chocolate covered pretzels. Those are fine, or like some Cheetos. You just keep it on you, and then you dust it off as you get out. Yeah, you kind of roll out of the car.
Gotcha.
That's the only acceptable move. Or a water bottle if you're going to the gym. That's acceptable too.
All right, there you go. We have a request here from Kyle also. Please make a Tesla video like you made for the Corvette. So we've got to get you some jeans now.
Oh, shoot. I can't do it.
All right. Hey Sam wants to know, when do those custom Rupaz polishers ship? After the raffle ends? As soon as they're done and to us, which we don't have a timeline on that yet. But
yeah, because I don't know how many we're selling. What I didn't want to do was make 50 special edition, and spend $25,000 on them and no one buy them. So this is why the whole giveaway thing is more of a just buy it, forget about it. We won't forget about it, and we'll get it to you in relatively short order.
Yeah, as soon as we can. David has a good point here. No blood hand changing the exhaust on a Tesla.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to go through 13 exhaust.
No.
Get to one of these questions here. Chad has a good question about giveaway items. He says, I see several starter kits for the garage giveaway, but nothing for those of us that have most of that stuff already. Any chance of seeing a refill kit, maybe with a spray bottle?
Maybe.
So,
yeah.
Maybe something
on the list. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You got beginner kits, but maybe like an intermediate. Okay, you have some of this stuff. That's a good idea, Chad. So write that down. Bryce and Mike. Let's see. We have another super chat here from Jake, $4.99 US. Hey, Matt. I've heard you talk about your RSX in the past. What all was done to it, and what would be an OG spec one today?
So my RSX was my very short attempt to become a regular person. So I had just come off of, I was leaving, let me see, what was I doing? I just left Sound Advice and went into wealth management. I was making a pretty long commute. I had just gotten pulled over for doing 87 and a 35 on my YZF R6, my Yamaha YZF R6, which was got me sent to the alcoholics driving school. I was the only one there who had a license, and the only one there who could actually answer a question. And then, what it basically was an hour of discussion, another hour of the guy trying to sell us prepaid legal services. And then I got pulled over like a week after that for doing like 109 on the turnpike in my Civic, or my S2000. And so I immediately, and plus we were getting married and all that stuff, and so I sold everything. I sold the bike, I sold all the parts. My lease was coming up on my S2000. We were going to be buying a house, and so I was trying to buy something practical. So I bought I think it was like $14,000 2002. This was in 2004, maybe 2005, early 2005. And I'm like, I'm going to get an RSX. I'm not going to modify it. So I bought the Gen 2 or the 2000 wheels from the 2005 car. I found a used set of those and put those on the old car. But it wasn't like a really nice, had like, I don't know, 20,000 miles on it, but it wasn't a really nice car. It was really boring and basic. And that lasted about 3 months, and then I got an AP2 S2000. But that was my plan to be just a normal, rational. I was going to give up cars. It weren't for me. I'd gotten 7 tickets in Florida in the 3 years I'd been here, and it was me growing up. And by the way, the first week I got the car, I got a ticket in that car too. So I haven't had a ticket. That was the last time I was pulled over.
Wow.
It was on the way to our engagement party. I got pulled over and got a ticket on like a Sunday morning, like in a stupid zone, like a speed trap area.
You didn't have your radar detector?
I didn't have a radar detector. Got rid of everything. I was like, I don't need this anymore. This car's slow and not modified, and looks like it was, it was that kind of beige silver finish. I forget what the color. I don't even know. The car had no value to me.
All right. Second part of his question here. What would be an OG spec version of that today? Or an OG spec version?
Yeah, I don't know. I never really got into the K series stuff. So, I'm not sure what I would do to that.
All right, Epiphany Detailing says, this is good, Rex will like this. Are you losing Rex to Tavarish? I see he's a rising star on his channel.
Oh, he's on the channel all the time now?
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
He comes here in the mornings to buy stuff anyway, so I guess he's a star. That's cool. Good job, Rex. Let's see. AZ Clayton, this is a good point here. Some of us use our Teslas as daily drivers only. They're automotive appliances.
That's what I'm thinking about this thing as.
Nobody writes songs about their toasters. Good point.
Seriously, that's kind of how I'm thinking about this car. Now, I'll probably take it to the extreme, but even that, I'm just modifying my toaster to make it as acceptable as possible.
All right, let's see. CJ says, in your new garage video on Inside the Hex, you talk about wanting deep drawers for Milwaukee tools.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep the tools in place? Seems tool grid would be too short.
Well, we're developing a tool grid, larger tool storage solution. You could buy Kaizen foam and cut it out, but it's just not as clean. And I just don't love the CNC cut stuff as much. I've also got a relationship with Shark, who makes the CNC cut stuff, but I think we're gonna have a tool grid solution for it.
All right, let's see here. Ryan Lippy says he remembers you posting on Club RSX back in the day.
Yeah.
And then he says desert silver metallic was the color.
Yes. It was puke beige. Yeah.
Same thing. You'll like this super chat.
I had the same screen name, Money 2536, from all the way Club SI, Club RSX, all the way through. And Money was because I wanted to be rich. The 25 was my volleyball number 25, and 52 when I played football, and 36 was for Wu-Tang's 36 Chambers. It's my screen name to this day. It's freaking great.
All right, so here's a good super chat for you. 5 euros? Yeah, 5 euros from Wrap Virus, WRAP. Hey guys, what do you think about vehicle wrapping?
Uh-oh. You might want to rewind.
He's not a fan.
Made that up for sure. He's made that up for sure.
Yeah, if you'd like to know his thoughts on vehicle wrapping, just go back a little bit. That's funny.
It's a Tesla. Yeah, it's Tesla. I got to get it wrapped like everybody else. First, top 5 modifications. That's going to be my first video.
Yeah.
Top 5 things I hate about my Model 3. Top 5 reasons why I'm poor and stupid. Top 5 reasons why I wrapped my door handles. Top 5 reasons why I broke my windshield and I won't get it fixed. Top 5 reasons why I chose the color purple for my wrap. Get out of here, losers, nerds. Come up with your own thing.
Now, I'm stealing this. I forget who said this earlier. Forgive me. I think it was D. Weberist, or however he says his name.
Graphene coated my Tesla Model 3.
He said you won't be able to do your first mod that you enjoy doing to all your cars on the Tesla.
Yeah.
You can't cut the little gas cap line.
Yeah, that makes me feel really accomplished when I do that.
You're going to have to search for something else now. Bryce is getting angry here.
Skinny jeans?
Yeah, you just look like an old man in your jeans. I'm sorry you don't have style from Bryce. Bryce is wearing shorts today.
Bryce is not the guy you go to for style. He's not the guy.
40 degrees out, and that's when Bryce uses to wear shorts. I like his style. Let's see. Judd Nguyen says, hey, Matt, my wife and I are listing our home with the intent on moving to Florida. How would you rate your area? Family, schools, crime, etc. The internet doesn't always provide a real-world perspective.
Yeah, don't move here. Don't do that. I would move to somewhere much posher. Winter Park, Winter Garden, Ponte Vedra, and Jacksonville. Nice. Move to if you have the Jack, move to Boca.
Windermere, you like Windermere?
Yeah. I don't like the east side of town as much. I feel like the east side of town of Orlando is more. It's more Orlando native. It's a little more hustle and bustle. I feel like the west side of town, although I just feel like it's more modern, like Nona on the south side. But I would, if I could pack up and move, I'd move to Windermere. The problem with Windermere now, though, is a lot more congested. So Winter Garden's probably a little better, and even Claremont. But I like the west side of Orlando the most in Florida. But there's a lot of nice areas that I wouldn't move this far north. Ocala is much more people who kind of grew up here. or you're into horses, But it's a lot of people grow up here, so it must be all right if people grow up here and stay here and don't go away.
It's nice. I don't know where you're moving from, Judd, but that can also kind of give a different perspective. Keith wants to know, gentlemen, what flooring would be recommended for indoor car washing? Any other considerations if you were to pressure wash the car inside the garage? We all don't live in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, Swiss Trax is a great solution for that because you can pull it out and clean it. And, if you have the wash bay set up, you can just clean it right there. The new surface cleaner, the whole concept of it is that we got from Osmatic is you can flip it over, back and forth so you can clean the floor and clean the car. So Swiss Trax Rib Trax is a great solution for that. Or, I would do, and you obviously put a drain in and check out the company's Slot Drain. SLOT drain, and then do like a high-end low slip, or I don't know if they call it low or high. I think it's called a high slip rating, where it has a lot of grit in it. Don't do freaking epoxy, and don't do epoxy with anti-skid, because then the anti-skid catches all the dirt, and it's impossible to clean. Don't do that. Don't ever do epoxy, ever.
All right. Elmer wants to know, B series over K series or K series over B series?
Yeah, I think B series. I'm not interested if I'm interested in horsepower, I'm going to get a different car. And I just think the B series sounds freaking cool. And I don't know anything about K series, so that's why I did a B series.
All right, let's see. Jeffrey says, I'm a bit surprised you didn't opt for a Plaid Model S. Was it in consideration?
It's $150,000. You think I got money coming out of my orifices? I mean, jeez. So that's $150,000, and you need another $30,000 to make it cool. Yeah, no, I wanted to buy one to see if I even liked it first before I went to some $150,000 car or $160,000 car that is not a $160,000 car. It's a $35,000 car. So that's why I did a Model 3 is smaller, lighter. There's a lot more aftermarket support for it. So I wasn't interested in. Again, this is my utility car. I don't want to have to drive this thing. I'm hoping the only reason I got it is so that I can have a car stop if I freak out, and hopefully, give me some therapy to drive around. So there's a utility methodology for me buying this car, and I'll explain it in the video when I first get it. But I'm picking it up on Tuesday.
All right. How's the Renline phone mount with the new iPhone 12
doesn't
Pro
work.
Max?
Yeah, it doesn't work at all. So I'm going to have to figure something else out.
There you go, Jason. What is the process for Tuesday? Are you driving down, or is somebody taking you down to Orlando? What's the...
Yeah, it's contactless delivery. The whole process is great. So you sign up. It takes 30 seconds to sign up. And I use my buddy Tony's code, so we both got some supercharging miles. And so you pay $100, and then you get an email, and you put in right after that you put in you just take a picture of your license and attach it, and a picture of your auto insurance, and you attach it, and then it if you're going to finance, you could fill it out there. I just paid for it. So I then got contacted by you get an agent assigned to you who says, hey, how's it going? Congrats on your thing. Hey, I checked out your YouTube channel kind of thing. You looked up at what Matt at Obsessed Garage was. And he says, yeah, one of the guys here watches your videos. So that was kind of cool. And then if you need anything, let us know. And then they give you an estimated date, which was December 16th to the 28th or something like that. And then just yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, I got the message saying your car's ready. You pay for it. Click the button. They use... I think it was called Plaid, processing. You paid for it, and then a few hours later, I got a text message saying sign up for your contactless delivery, and so I'm going to go down to the delivery facility. I have to because they won't deliver to your house in this area, and I go down to the delivery facility, and you take it with you. So that's the plan. The only thing that stinks is I can't do the whole hey, don't touch my car kind of thing. There's no one to talk to. There's no dealership, all that stuff. So it'll be all jacked up, I'm sure.
You're just meeting like a Taco Bell parking lot on
right.
International Drive.
I think it's the Tesla service. I don't know what it is, but you don't even talk to anyone. You just get in the car and drive off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you going to document this process, of course?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably just do a inside the hex. So, yeah, then I'm going to have Michelle drive it home, and so I can then get it in my driveway and start figuring it out. I got to figure out where I'm going to plug the thing in. I don't have anywhere to do it. I'm moving in 30 days. I don't want to wire something up, so I'll probably just make some sort of pigtail or something. I'll call Mike, and he'll tell me what to get. And I don't know what I'll do.
All right, another super chat here from our friend Yoshi, $4.99 US. Are the wheels on the Tesla going to be purple? How do you feel about non-neutral colored wheels?
He's on to me. I'll just leave it at that.
All right, there you go, Yoshi. Recommendation from Sahas. Only Tesla mod I did to mine was a matte screen protector to avoid glare on the screen. Write that down on your list. Lots of Florida talk here. Winter Park. How about Oviedo? Mike chimes in with Claremont. That's where our guy Mike lives.
Yeah, I don't like Oviedo.
Judd's moving down from Pennsylvania. That's where he's coming from. He's tired of the cold. Good choice, Judd.
Although if you're single, then you'd want to live on the east side of town.
So there you go.
Yeah, because the UCF is there. If you're young and single, I should have moved on the east side of town.
Our friend Wes Bourne wants to know, when's the next OG day at Santos?
Oh, yeah. Well, now that I'm going to have some freedom, I'll meet you up there. If I can, autopilot up there. I haven't been going very much. Unless Chad takes me, I can't really get there. I don't want to ride the 15 miles on my bike just to get there.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good question from Vigor Auto Detailing. I don't know that you'd know the answer to this. Chris, one bourbon for the rest of your life, what would it be? Booker's. Always Booker's. Brock, what soap do you prefer? GSF or Adams? We discussed that. GSF now. Let's see here. Ooh, here's a good question from EC. We talked about this briefly, but this came up among the questions. When was a Mosmatic undercarriage and surface cleaner added? That's a nice looking.
I need to make a video of it. I haven't really played with it all. I did the first day. The thing's pretty incredible. How much is it? Super expensive, isn't it?
$605 with the nozzles included.
Oh, that's a stinger. I thought it was $400 or something. But that's our cost.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey.
Yeah.
We only ordered 100 of them because they were so expensive.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, but I mean, it's T304 lifetime type product, Yeah, it's a lot of money. And but it's pretty incredible. I mean, it's all T304 stainless and has, really stout bristles, and it's a pretty nice thing. Is it 605 with the wand or without?
I don't know.
I don't either. I'll make a video on it soon.
Yeah. Related to that, a question from Alec on Facebook. Nice to see the Mosmatic undercarriage and surface cleaner become available. Will it continue to be offered after the giveaway?
Yeah.
Yes.
We just threw it in there just because we can.
And it came at the right time. They just showed up yesterday, the day before.
So I need to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll do a video. If so, will you be able to purchase the 1.0 and 2.0 orifice nozzles separately so you could swap them out if needed? Yes.
It's not really something you want to swap, and so the nozzles are additive. So if you have a Krenzler and you need a 4.0 nozzle, you'd put two 2.0 nozzles on it. If you're doing a why do we only do 1.0 and
the 1.0 for cheap electric pressure washers, 2.0 for gas, Comet, AR630, Krenzler.
Yeah, because you want as much pressure as you can get out of it. Because most of these little electrics, even the Krenzlers and stuff, are going to struggle with it.
Yeah, his example was if he's going to upgrade from a cheap electric to a Krenzler in the future.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
If you're going to do that, start with the 1.0s, so you can get the 2.0s separately.
They're only a few bucks, like $10 a piece or something like that.
They're the affordable part.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Intel Yachts. We kind of discussed this, but it came up again here. With the new house move, is Obsessed Garage going to get into boat detailing?
Yep, I already have a bunch of products sitting on the counter.
Yeah,
or on top of the cabinet. Yeah, to try out. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get into it, but I'm going to learn about it, and I'm going to share it. So, and then we'll probably create a system for it. So, yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see.
But I ain't getting no stupid, worthless boat. I just don't understand, like that, the Sea Ray. You get a boat, and you can't do anything with it. It has the open prop at the back, and the, whatever that means when you put the motor in the middle. It's like the Nerd family It's the same people who buy Teslas. I'm going to get a boat, and you get the Sea, or the like 23-foot Sea Ray or 18-foot Sea Ray. And you can't fish off of it. You can't even jump off of it. You can maybe sort of tube off of it. The only boat that's worse is a pontoon boat. But at least a pontoon boat, you can do some backflips off of the thing or something. But, man, it's so stupid. Get a wakeboarding boat or get a ski boat or get a freaking bass boat or a boat that's useful. These nerds just want to go putt around in the water with their Trump flag hanging off the back. Like, what is wrong with people?
All right, question from Jack about press-all bottles and labels. Can you sell just the label for press-all bottles? So if we already have them and the liquid that goes in them, we can put the sticker on without having to get the new bottles.
Yep, that's the plan.
All right. Let's see. More bourbon questions. This is good. We'll turn this into bourbon podcast. Best bang for the buck? I can't tell you because then you'll buy them all and I can't get them anymore. I'm not doing that. That's what happens. Oh, this is a good question. Speaking of, we'll go back to Santos for just a second. Fellow mountain biker, I like how he calls you a mountain biker, Michael on Facebook, from California. When will we see GoPro footage of you on the mountain trails?
You don't want to see that.
I think they do.
I'm like, nope, not going on that. Nope, not doing that one. Nope, not going there. Nope.
It's more trail riding here.
Yeah.
There aren't many mountains.
Yeah. There's gnarly stuff.
Yeah, but you can hurt yourself if you want to.
But I ain't doing no tabletops. So I'm not even riding on the 2x4 that they put in. I'm not even doing that. I'm just riding straight and flat with some curves. I might do a couple bunny hops over a stump or something. Not a stump, but a root. A stump would be a little too much. Yeah. You don't want to see me out there heavy breathing. You think I heavy breathe just washing the car and be like hyperventilating the whole time. Sweat pouring down on the camera. Yeah, that'd be bad. It'd be bad.
All right.
I'm the slowest mountain biker on the nicest bike. That's always my goal. Yeah. I want to be the guy in the back of the group on the nicest bike. I'm not that bad, but I just don't want to. I don't have any desire to like bomb down 12-foot drops and stuff. I'm just not doing it.
Let's see here. Mattman1098 wants to know, are you going to participate in the new Porsche Rewards program?
I don't know what that is, so probably not.
Neither. Sounds like a way to get yourself an allocation by jumping through hoops or something. Horton Detailing, Jordan Horton in the chat earlier. Did you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast with Richard Rawlings?
Did he just do one recently?
I think it was a couple days ago.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'll definitely listen to that then.
Kevin has a good suggestion on the bang for your buck. Old Forester, the 100 proof. That's the way to go. Like $23 a bottle.
We don't do bang for our buck. There's no such thing.
Yes, we do. Destin on Facebook says, any chance of you building an R32 GTR? Feel you would do the car justice, especially with your connection to Tommy F.
Yeah, no.
Not your cup of tea?
I have no desire to do a GTR. I don't like things that other people like, apparently. Oh, boy. Wait till you see my review of these products. Oh, yeah, there it is. Richard Rawlings.
Who's Richard Rawlings, by the way?
From
a car guy some sort?
Gas Monkey Garage. Fast and Loud on Discovery.
All right, let's see. Here's a good question from Henry. Henry always has some pretty good questions on Facebook. How did you balance buying what you wanted and saving for the future when you were younger?
Ugh.
Did you, I guess, is the better question. You saved up some money.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always, as I do with everything, worried too much about it instead of which has been my natural break, emergency break, if you will, because I tend to leap. I tend to chase a little harder than I should. I tend to buy things early. I tend to be a bit impulsive and take some risks, but yet I don't. So I feel like I have this natural. So the natural anxious worry that I have is what slows me down. And so, I would have these aspirations. I'd have these like grandiose ideas that, okay, what I'm going to do for the next 6 months, I'm not going to spend any money. all or nothing. Like, I'm not going to spend any money. I'm going to save every penny, and then that'll set me up for this or that. I'd make it about 6 days, and then do something else. Change my complete direction. Change my whole life. And it's worked out for me thus far. And I think it'll continue to work out. And the realization that I'm a classic entrepreneur is something that took a long time for me to get to and feel a little bit more comfortable. Like, now I think about things. So I think the earlier you can realize and figure out how to leverage your passions. So, for instance, this Tesla or the boat, two things I don't really even want. But for a short period of time, I want them. And so I'm going to leverage the boat and then figure out how to take care of the boat. Then I'll figure out some sort of system to maintain the boat, and I'll figure out how to provide value to the world by me owning a boat. So I'm going to try to do the same thing with a Tesla, or the Civic. Okay, I wanted to build the Civic, and in the way I wanted to build it, and depending on what your definition of building is, and I'm going to then figure out how to provide some value to the world and have an exchange to help pay for it. And so I think you can escalate the speed at which you get what you want at the time you want it, knowing and accepting. The earlier you can accept is that the want will never end. And it's funny, there was a comment on the Youth Man video that I did where he came up and viewed me, and I did a tour of my garage, and somebody said, is this, it was a pretty eloquently worded question, but something about, is this just consumerism, and do you suffer from that? And I thought about that, and I thought, what I'm interested in is, I think, much more passionate than blind consumerism. Like, I think I want to think I'm more thoughtful and more calculating about all of this, especially now as I've learned to leverage the value that I can create based on my desire for information and desire for the chase. And so you have to figure out a way to not accept the status quo and to reach, but have some sort of internal curb, whether it's somebody in your life to say no to you, or you just sort of set some savings goal or something. But I'm a big proponent of screw the idea of retiring. Just keep living, keep chasing, find the next thing. Otherwise, you're just gonna die. My coach talks about you. What does he say? You're born and you're gonna die. Everything else in between is just made up. So just make it up. So I've learned to take these, like, I'm gonna save for 6 months and then do this or that. I've learned to take myself less seriously and just do what seems right. Trust my gut. And if it all went away tomorrow, I'd figure out how to remake it. If it all went away again, you figure out how to redo it again.
Right, so there you go, Henry. Tommy Thompson from Denmark. I'm from Europe. Just ordered my first stuff from you guys. I was wondering what percentage of your orders are international? It's a good question. It's less than 10%.
Yeah.
We just had some more headaches dealing with it today. It's definitely a challenge, and we want to grow it. That's the bigger we get, the more we're going to need to focus on that and grow it. But it's getting bigger, which is kind of cool. Obviously, if you look in the chat here, you see people from all over the world, but it can get expensive to get stuff to you.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Scott Taylor says, just got my OG bucket package set up. Imports to the UK are definitely worth for the quality compared to what's offered here. So good. Glad you're enjoying it. That's cool. Boat. Brandon says boat stands for bring out another 1,000.
Yeah, I don't think it's really that. I mean, just look at my Tesla order. It's not. I think a car guy and a boat guy are not really all that different. You're gonna have to buy stuff all the time to fix it, and I think a lot of times people will buy a boat that's well above what they can handle or well above their means, and so that it becomes a bit of a problem. But if you you maintain it, take care of it, and do all that stuff. I think, again, I've never had a boat, so maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but it's one of those things that I think you can manage.
I don't see Cabes or Cabies here in the chat. He did a super chat.
Ooh.
$19.99. Hey, from California. Appreciate the candor and content, Matt. Got to shout out your team, Kyle specifically. It's the team that makes it go, so kudos to them. Buy yourself lunch on me, Kyle. So there you go. Now you owe Kyle $20.
We'll see about that. Okay, I already. When does he get paid today?
Today.
Okay, it's in there.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, our buddy Martin here from Alligator Window Tent, super chat, $10. Do you think your success as an entrepreneur is based or been positively impacted on your experience in contrast as an employee?
I've never really been a traditional employee outside of, when I worked for the clubhouse in my community when I was, in my teens. I was an employee at Walmart. I was an employee for the post office. I was an employee for the clubhouse. So those are like the 3 regular employee jobs I've had. And then ever since then, I've been some form of a commissioned job, where I'm paid a commission based on my effort, which is very, very different than a job where you get a salary and you get a raise and that kind of thing. There's extreme pros for the right personality and extreme cons for the wrong. And so I couldn't figure out. So I'm in this entrepreneurial type position in wealth management, in selling AV. Those are my 2 main jobs, if you will. And you can trick yourself or fool yourself into believing that you're not an employee, that you can write your own ticket. They give you some freedoms, and I always took those freedoms further than they wanted me to. And I didn't understand fully until I owned my own thing, where I don't want people taking freedoms beyond where I want them to be taken. So, but it's a little different. It's a little odd when you're not dealing with the owner of the company. The owner would probably want me to do the things that I was doing, but the mid-level management didn't. And so I'd always find myself getting in trouble all the time. And so, the jobs that I've had, I don't know how well I would have done in a corporate ladder. I think I would have done pretty well if it was highly competitive, because I like to compete, I like to win, I like to improve, I like to do more than others. I like to try to be impressive, Like a lot of the ego in me chasing all this product knowledge is to have that impressive knowledge base. Like, it really motivates me that although I didn't prepare for 1 millisecond when I did that Youth Man video, but I watched back, I said, how the heck did I know all this crap? And a lot of the stuff is in my head from 20 years ago. I'm just rattling off model number after model number. And that motivates me to be able to do those kind of things. And whether I was, whatever job I had, I wanted to have something that made me stand out and be, quote, quote, impressive over the next guy. And things like, it really motivated me when somebody would ask me off the top of my head what that, 16-digit SKU was on the Monster cable. And I was able to rattle it off the top of my head. And a lot of that I learned from my friend Ryan, who was very impressive with the body of knowledge. He wasn't very impressive at selling, because he was very unmotivated and not extremely money motivated. And so I would always beat him, even though he had a more impressive knowledge base. But I was always so wowed when someone would ask him something and he knew the answer to it. And I wanted to be like that. And so that's kind of been the chase for me in my multiple careers, if you will, that now has turned into, a really valuable thing in my, 40s and then hopefully 50s and 60s, is all this chase for stuff. It would be of value at some point to this day.
All right, let's see. Ricards wants to know, when will the ceramic sealant video be out? Is it next week?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe a couple weeks. It takes time.
Yeah.
It's the longevity part of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's very extensive. Yeah, it's not a super easy thing to do.
Here's a good question from where'd it go? Oh, same guy. Has Matt tried out the keto diet? Ivan from Optimum achieved great results with it.
Yeah, it didn't work for me. I don't like it. I can never even get into darn ketosis. I'm starving myself.
You've tried a lot of different things. It's tough.
Yeah. I haven't tried very hard, apparently.
That's our favorite word, try.
Yeah. One of these days it's going to kick in.
Let's see. Lots more bourbon talk. I'll ignore that for now. We'll save that for the bourbon podcast later.
My latest cockamamie scheme, which my therapist just said finally squashed it, was that I'm going to get on Survivor.
Oh, now that you're watching Survivor.
Yeah. and I'm so deathly afraid. First of all, my bare feet rarely touch the ground. I'm white as a ghost, so I'd be torched, sunburnt. I'd be good in the challenges, but I don't swim very well, and I'm blind, right? So I'm going to have a tough time in the challenges if I don't have glasses on. So, but, I'm big and strong, and I would get, I'm pretty fit, and I'd do well, and I can do puzzles pretty well and things like that. So I'm, like, convincing myself. But I get seasick, right? And so a lot of times they bring you in on a boat, and then, I'd slice my hand open with a machete and have a mental breakdown. She's like, absolutely not. She's like, just stop this madness. Because my story's kind of unique, so there's a high probability I could get, I'd get into the producer's queue and I might get picked for a show like that. And so she said no. And so I feel really good. And I finally, because I was building up to, I'm going to try to get on this thing, despite all of these things, all these universal truths telling me don't freaking do it, you moron. You're gonna die. You're gonna be in the loony bin. Oh boy.
So just stick with the Canadian.
But I was thinking about it. It would be a great way to diet. By the end of it,
yeah, you definitely lose some weight.
I'd lose 30 or 40 pounds, and then that could be the catalyst that I need to get to the next stage of my life. I'm just gonna start doing bicep curls every day, and that's it.
Matt has a good point here. Matt Duffy says you'd call everyone idiots and get voted off first.
I think I'd actually do better socially. I think people would be shocked. I mean, look at this. I'm pretty darn likable. Although, likable in my own way, right? I mean, How would I have all these people watching this frickin' podcast and all these people in my life if I wasn't somewhat likable? It's sometimes so unlikable that you can't help but like it.
That's true. That's a good way to put it.
I think I'd do pretty well, or get voted off on the first day. I'd be the first one voted off. Like, dang it! The whole reason I came here was to go on a diet, and then I'd use that as a justification. I was out there for one day, and then I'd eat freaking crazy.
It's just not meant to be the diet.
I'd be the first person to go on Survivor to gain weight by the end of it. Oh boy,
good stuff. All right, I think that's all we got for today. It's 3:33 here, Eastern Time. Next week, we're going to be here Monday through Wednesday. So
yeah, maybe we'll do it then.
Yeah, same thing the week after that because of the upcoming holidays here in the United States. So let's see. Yeah, we may do one Wednesday. Wednesday would be good.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll aim for maybe Wednesday. I'll see if we can pull Matt away from his test on graphene.
Yep.
As likable. Matt's as likable as watching a train wreck. We can't look away.
Yeah, see, told you.
We're just here for the rants.
Can you imagine me on Survivor? I'd be gold. I'd be asked to come back to every season.
The editors would love you. I'd be like, oh yeah, this guy.
I have all kinds of sound bites, all kinds of sayings. I'd be, just dogging all the regular people because there's a bunch of regular people on the show usually. And it'd be great. I'd be torched bright red. I think I'd do well though because mosquitoes don't mess with me as much as other people, so that'd be good.
One more super chat here, $5 from Jeff C. Thanks to Kyle and Jeff for the help with my Sprinter order. I got it in 110 volt, and it was here before the rest of my orders. Lifetime goal achieved.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool, Jeff.
All right, bros. We'll catch you next week. See you soon.
See you guys.
F you.
Flipping Kraut says, first challenge is taking off a steering wheel. We're changing a
I don't
carburetor.
think people understand how hard that thing was on me. I laid into that.